Why does the world so often associate Sicily with the mafia? Not because organized crime is unique here,
but because violence and control happened out in the open, and public history doesn't fade easily or hide in the shadows.
Hi, we're Anya
And Lucas,
and welcome to our channel
Spark of Sicily.
We share our life in Sicily unfiltered, the good, the difficult and everything in between.
In this video we are visiting Corleone. We want to talk honestly about the mafia history connected to this town and what Corleone feels like today.
We filmed Corleone during Storm Harry, a storm that disrupted daily life across much of Sicily.
The strongest impact was in the east, especially around Catania and the southeast, while parts of the west, including Palermo, were affected as well. Corleone is inland and high in the mountains, so we didn't experience the storm the same way as the coast.
Filming here during a storm felt symbolic, because when mafia power in Sicily came out in the open, it didn't just take over people's lives, it took over the whole image of Sicily. And this image is something Sicily has been fighting ever since. Before we go further, it's important to explain where some of the footage you're seeing comes from.
We wanted to visit the official anti-mafia museum in Corleone, but it was closed when we were here.
Instead, we were able to film inside a privately owned house museum.
The owner bought the house and later discovered letters, photographs and personal correspondence left behind by an aristocratic family who once lived here.
What those documents show is simple. Even rich and respected families lived under constant pressure and had to pay for protection, if you know what I mean.
No one was untouched, no one was safe.
Now, something important. Mafia is not one single organization.
In Italy, there have been several criminal groups. Actually, the most well-known one was Cosa Nostra. It developed here, but it was never the whole picture and it doesn't represent Sicily.
Sicily didn't invent organized crime. What happened instead is that in the second half of 20th century, mafia violence here became very visible and they openly challenged the state.
From the 1970s through the 1990s, internal power struggles escalated into an open conflict.
Murders were no longer hidden, they were meant to be seen and feared.
That moment changed everything. From then on, Sicily became known worldwide for the mafia, and many people still expect it to work the same way today.
Corleone became infamous because a mafia faction based here gained enormous power during that period. Not because this town was uniquely criminal, but because that group was especially ruthless.
And it's important to say this clearly. This wasn't honor, it wasn't the rule of law in the hands of common people, and it wasn't control in the way films later suggested.
Cinema romanticized the Sicilian mafia. It turned into something almost seductive. Good-looking actors, strength, power.
The reality was violent, chaotic and cruel. It destroyed families, traumatized communities and ruined lives.
What finally broke the silence wasn't one single moment. It was years of violence reaching a point where it could no longer be ignored.
The response that followed was public, from institutions, from communities and from ordinary people who refused to accept fear as normal.
And there's one more reality that's hard to ignore. The rough terrain and cliffs around Corleone were used to hide bodies.
Not symbolically, in real life.
That's what out in the open meant here. Fear and terror were part of daily life, and even the landscape still carries reminders of all the suffering endured here.
Corleone today feels very different.
What stands out is the sense of community across the whole town.
During the storm, we saw firefighters helping a local bar after part of the roof collapsed. And just to clarify, in Italy a bar means a café.
That feeling carries through everyday life here. People are open, direct and grounded.
This place doesn't deny its past, but it doesn't live inside it either.
Because the violence here was once so public, the response became public too. Education, awareness, refusal to stay silent.
Corleone doesn't pretend nothing happened, but it actively works to prevent anything like this happening again.
Not a legend, not a film set, a town with real people and real lives.
And that truth is also one of the reasons why we started Spark of Sicily.
To show places like this with context and honesty, not headlines, not clickbait. If you're planning to relocate to Sicily or want to understand it beyond postcards and stereotypes, we offer consultations now.
They are based on real experience, not fantasy version of this island. You will find the details on our website, so don't be shy and check it out.
Thank you for watching. Did this video change how you see Corleone or Sicily more broadly? Let us know in the comments.
We read them all.
See you in the next one. Ciao!